Three, two, and fun. We are live. Thank you for joining us today. We got on a podcast, myself, Stephen Maxted, your host, and we have Kris, Hrom, Senior AE at Flex Networks. We met through a networking group, but we
did.
I found what Kris is doing quite interesting. Kris, I will say this: like you're earlier in your career, wanted to get you on the podcast to let's get some experience under the belt talking. And you took this in as you listener can see if they're watching this, you're out on the golf course.
I am
being very flexible as per the name of the company you're with Networks here to make this happen. I think this is going to be a great episode to show what really goes on in terms of people balancing things in the workday, number one, and two, just kind of what you're doing. So tell us a little bit about yourself besides that you're shooting right at the golf range. I think it's right. Right?
Yeah, I'm already.
Yeah, you're ready. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was like flipped or something weird. Did we lose the camera?
I'm a Dolphin boy, actually.
Oh, you cut out for a second there, Kris.
A little bit about me. You're gonna notice I'm a big sports guy. As you can see, I love being outside. I love being on the course. But my background really comes from hockey. I'm a big hockey guy. I played my entire life, and I've been coaching the past few years. So just trying
Cool.
to stay back in the community, just giving back as much as I can, and obviously just being around the boys as much as I can. So that's a little bit about me. I got two little French bulldogs, Finny and Maverick. Love them to death. I got an amazing girlfriend at home, Sydney. So yeah, life is good, man. Life is good. I can't complain at all.
Taking a podcast on the golf course. You're looking like you're a millionaire right now.
There's I wish, buddy.
So we got you say you're from Dauphin originally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I even knew that.
No, I think
that's good. Right good for listener. We just had someone on here the other day, a friend of mine from agriculture that is living up in Dauphin now. I don't know if you saw that episode with Amy, but
no, not yet.
She's up there and doing the creative side of things. But let's tell listener a little bit of what you're doing today, and that's great that that's what you're doing outside of work. And I think your camera is off, possibly hitting golf balls here. There you go.
You good?
Yeah, we can see you now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. No, I completely lost you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just doing that little circle thing, so I had to double check. Sorry. What were you? What was your question? I apologize, man. That's on me.
How did you get to what's going on now in the work front? We'll cover that a little bit more. What's going on? Describe to listener what's going on today with you there.
So there's now we're a disruptive internet service provider is the way I like to describe it. So Nothing to do with Bell, nothing to do with Shaw. We're our own network, and what we do is we're strictly focusing on business internet. So really giving businesses a real choice and giving them a proper telecom infrastructure so they have the reliability on their network. Because in Winnipeg, especially, we're in Sask as well. We're in Winnipeg, we're in Ontario. But it's really there's a lot of underserved business areas, and they're using like residential grade products. So what we're doing, we've created a fiber network in Winnipeg, and it's our own. Like I said, that's the best part about it. And giving businesses the choice and giving them a truly reliable network, not the like I said, nothing that you're going to be using at home. It's a high grade commercial grade fiber.
Awesome. And what? Because I know that we've looked at like the map before. We'll cover a few things today. But where are you primarily like covering this stuff? If someone's like looking like today, I know it probably will evolve over time, but where do you service right now? Where do folks?
I love that. I know exactly what you're talking about. So it's most of the business parks in Winnipeg. So what you're going to find, we're in the Waverley industrial area. It was really underserved there. St. Boniface industrial area, the downtown core, Inkster industrial. Most of the underserved business parks in Winnipeg. That's where our primary focus is on. Because again, it was all residential grade internet, and you can't run a multi-million-dollar company on residential grade internet. You need something that's fast, something that's reliable.
Absolutely. There's so I guess on that, like I mean, I don't know if we can get into details about like who your customers are, but I'm sure you can talk what industries they're in. What do you see as far as that goes? What industries are you hitting it off with, or who's using the network today?
A lot of it's I'm an enterprise, so I focus on a lot of bigger companies. So companies that are 30 plus people behind a screen, but it's not necessarily just looking at your bandwidth. It's not just, oh, I have the fastest
Right.
internet. Like, it's using something that is reliable. Some people that if their internet goes down for an hour, they could lose up to $25,000. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibilities, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest thing. So companies that need internet, they run on internet. Everything they eat, sleep, and breathe internet. Everything, and that's another thing. Internet of Things is a major trend nowadays, where all technology is running on internet, and that's a lot of things companies don't realize. They'll start upgrading things behind the scenes, and then they don't work. And the reason it is because you don't look at the infrastructure in the building. And that's what a lot of companies are starting to do. We're getting them to look at the infrastructure because they have all these high tech things they want to look into and make their business greater with. But unfortunately, they can't because of the fact that they don't have that reliable internet connection.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. We're really focusing on giving Manitobans a proper internet connection to run their business on.
And so something that comes to mind, and I'm sure someone else is going to think this too,
Sure.
is how is it installed? I know that's one of the bigger things when I go to switch providers in the past, and it's like, hey, how much of a hassle is this going to be, or is it going to be one? I shouldn't put that negative tone on it
Man.
out of the gates, but
No, no.
that's something you're looking to switch providers. It seemingly, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm sure someone gets
No.
asked that.
No, I'm happy you are because that's actually one of the most common questions that's asked on my day to day. So it's really interesting. It's about a three to 4 month process to actually get it fully installed, and the reason
Okay.
is because again, it's a commercial grade product. So what we do, it starts with just getting city permits, making sure that under the ground, because this is entrenched like 6 to 8 feet under the ground, right? We're not
Wow.
putting it
Yeah.
aerially because if it's a bad weather day, and like we live in Winnipeg here when it's cold, like it's not going to work. So what we do is we entrench it underground, 6 to 8 feet under from our nearest backbone, wherever we are. We're usually within 300 meters, and you're connected to the internet. Your building is literally connected to the internet. There's nothing else. There's no other traffic. It is literally just you and your dedicated fiber. So the best way to
Yep.
describe it is once it's in the ground, there's a pipe for you directly connected to the internet. Like the buildings around you have absolutely no access to it. Just you, just your staff, guaranteed speeds.
Wow. What happens if, I'm sure that this is part of your daily conversation with these folks, like what if the building's leased?
With the buildings leased, yeah, no, great question.
Yeah.
So the buildings leased, all it's a very very simple process. All we have to do is get the landlord involved, and usually they're right on board with it. And I'll tell you why. It's because if you put an internet connection into your building, it
Hmm.
attracts companies because obviously there's the areas where they're like, oh, well, we only have a DSL connection, which is called dial-up. It's like made before I was
Hmm.
born. So again, you can't run a business on that, right, man? You can't run your
Yeah.
business on that. So yeah, so what it does, it attracts clients because you're putting in something commercial grade, and there's something called a wired score where you can actually test how strong the internet connection is. So companies that are relying on internet, if they see that you have a dial-up in there or like something shared, they're like, well, I can't move in here, right? Because
Right.
my company won't be able to run. So it attracts them because it increases your building value by actually up to 25% by something so small. Like it's just one installation. It's there. It future proofs your building for the next
Right.
15 to 25 years. And again, companies are coming in knowing they don't have to, okay, what are we going to do for internet? Like, are we going to just throw a dish on the roof? Nope, it's already entrenched. Don't even have to worry
Already
about it.
wired in.
That's the best. It's already, yeah, exactly, man. You're wired in.
Very cool. So what do you see? I mean, it's better performance when it is wired in. Like this is what you're saying here. What's the? I mean, I don't really even love asking this question, but
Sure,
it's something as a it's about price. But like, how does it? What does it cost this thing? Like, what's
man.
it sounds like there's a bit of work to set it up and stuff, but I assume that you still have to
Absolutely.
remain a bit competitive
Yes.
in
And
the nature of the business. So
Yeah, you're bang on. So we're commercial grade. So I tell people right off the start, I'm gonna be, unless you have dedicated fiber in your building already, I'm gonna be more
Yeah,
expensive, straight up. Like I will probably be 2 to 3 times worth the price. But there's a reason why, right?
yeah,
So the biggest reason why it's called traffic shaping, it's called throttling, is what people call. So companies like Shaw, companies like Bell, they have that ability where they put in a shared fiber, and what happens is there's a full gigabyte laid on that road. There might be 8 businesses total. So on this road, they're able to take a gigabyte at a time,
yeah.
and they think, oh, at a peak time, nobody's going to be using a full gig. Well, in reality, all 8 of these places may need a full gig by themselves. So that's like 8 gigabytes per second going on to one line. And it's
Interesting.
only 1 gigabyte. Yeah, it's extremely high traffic. Like it's like being on the Gardner Highway in Toronto. Like you're not getting anywhere at that time, right? So that's yeah, you're not going anywhere, buddy. Like you're gonna be sitting there. So that's what your traffic's doing on your internet. So the biggest difference
Interesting.
is there's no traffic on our internet. So you're getting guaranteed speeds. And it says it on our
Mhm.
website, guaranteed speeds at all times. So if you're paying for 100 megabytes per second, you're always getting 100 megabytes per second.
Interesting. I know I'm not as fluent in that. I just noticed from different Wi-Fi providers when, if I am in a coffee shop or whatever it is, that's, on someone else's internet, probably not yours in this case, not to knock anyone else, but you do notice when there's more people on it though, even in those environments. And I think everyone's listener out there has probably experienced that in some regard, right? I mean, you can't expect
Absolutely, buddy.
high speeds all the time, but I often take it right off Wi-Fi because it's not even sending like, I take this for granted. This sounds like, I'm always spoiled with good internet, but I'm often taking my phone off Wi-Fi to connect to those locations because it's not as fast, and I find it, pardon me, borderline frustrating.
Gotta
And
use
so
your
I could
data,
see it.
right?
Well, you kind of have to, or I do in those situations because it's like I don't have the patience to wait for the internet to catch up for what I'm doing. So often hotspotting the phone to use there, so I don't know all the numbers that you were just referencing there, and I'm sure other people don't reference those on the daily either for
No, no,
100
they
megabyte.
don't.
I
They
don't know what
don't.
that means, but you
Basically,
do
you have
notice,
stable internet.
yeah. So just establishing that it's consistent, you're gonna have it there. um so we covered a couple of things there. One, install, which involves permits, a few months possibly for timeline, and I think you're probably being conservative on that too, because sometimes I'm sure it's quicker, but that's probably the safe way to explain it to someone, right? And then cost a little bit more, but it's consistent, it's yours. If you're And everything is a little bit more tech focused, or there seems to be a play on something involving either a website, um, or it depends on what the business is these days. So you're avoiding downtime there as a
Yes.
seen benefit
Yep.
from
There's
that.
another thing. Actually, I should point out that's you're making me
Sure.
think, and I like this. There's one thing that I get asked a lot, and I don't know if you're gonna ask this, but a lot of
Oh,
times
this is
people
good.
will say to me, they'll say to me, "How come? Why would I join you for like $600 a month for 100 meg when I can go to Shaw for $200 a month and get a gigabyte of service?" Well, I'll explain why.
Yeah,
And so if you go to Shaw for a gigabyte of service, and it says on their website, same with Bell, it says speeds up to.
up
And
to,
what
yeah.
that essentially means is you're never going to get that speed unless it's like 2 in the morning on a Sunday when nobody else is using it, right? So
Yep.
that's why it's $200, is because your performance fully depends on the time of day. And there's a lot of companies who they don't want to risk that. They don't want to be like, well, I mean, like, can I take a call with my most prominent client right now? Like, do I trust my
Totally.
internet carrier enough for that? So that's the
Yeah.
real big part of the investment, and that's what a lot of people question me. Why wouldn't I just take a gig from Shop? Well, it's because you're not really going to get a full gig. It's not going to be reliable. You're not going to get those full speeds. You may think, okay, I'm getting a gig, but in reality, you could be
Yeah.
getting 50 megabytes per second. And like what that means is you're getting like you can't play Fortnite on that. You can't do nothing with that. That's like the kids
Well,
at home wouldn't like that.
yeah, when you break it down like that, as far as like business expense, just like some quick math on that, if it is like, I don't know if these are good numbers to reference, but let's say it is like 200 bucks with a competitor, that's 2,400 bucks a year. It's not a big expense, but maybe you're not, at that stage. Because I know some folks in like the startup space or whatever, like they're, rubbing a couple coins together to get by right now. But if you were to upgrade and have that to 600 bucks a month, $7,200 a year, if your business is a little bit more serious, like you mentioned there, if you have one day down internet, that could cost you,
Some people it
far.
costs them thousands. Some people
Yeah,
cost them thousands.
yeah. So you're kind of avoiding that as an
Another way you
alternative.
could look at it here, Steve, is I'll give you an example. We've never lost anybody due to service, anything like that, but it's in our service level agreement that we have to have a truck out there within 45 minutes. And no matter what, in those 45 minutes, we'll credit you for a full day. A full day with us is like $22. So think about it like that. $22 a day, and you have a reliable internet connection. So rather than if your business connection goes down with that residential grade that I was talking about, it's like maybe $8 back for that day. So it's like, think about it in that perspective. Like, I'd rather if I spent $20, I knew my internet wasn't going to go down that day versus spending $8 to know there's a 50% chance it's going to go down that day. Why not?
Yep. I like that you broke it down right to the day for us there.
Right to the day.
I love that you know that math. Well, no, that's a real thing, because like you mentioned a couple things there specific to your sales area here too is we do have inclement weather, as it were, right? Whether it be cold, windy, rainy. I know sometimes with like heavy rain or heavy snow, I see the effects of my internet not functioning the way that I want it to. So that is very interesting. You bring up that as like the per day cost.
I'll give you another one.
Yep.
So our uptime, and that's like, you were talking about downtime there, and that's what made me think of this. Our uptime is 5 nines. So that means we're up 99.999% of the time, which actually translates to being down less than 6 minutes in an entire year. So there's 525,600 minutes in a year. You're down for less than 6 minutes. Under 6 minutes. Like that's the most physically possible that you can get.
Interesting.
Like that's as much as physics will let you do.
What's
that's my little nerd fact.
No. I love it. You're breaking down the analytics for us. That's going to be probably one of the snippets from here right away. I'm going to have to mark this at the 16-minute mark to cut this out and make sure we use it.
Good.
So what's I guess what would besides, like you mentioned, like some like enterprise companies, more like 30 to 40 folks. But I mean, I could see other companies that are a little bit smaller probably also using your services. Do smaller companies sign up with you guys?
Yeah. There's like, honestly, Matt, it really does range. You're right, and I'm happy you brought that up. There is companies out there that'll have 5 to 6 people that'll be in the office, and you may think like, why do they need such a strong internet connection? But they literally are an internet-based company where everything runs on internet. But I sold a group with 3 people, and they bought a $700 internet connection, right? Like that's like, it just really depends on your needs and how much you want to spend. Like your reliability, like it really says, do you want a reliable internet connection, or do you want to take that chance and have a little bit of a cheaper connection? So yes, to answer your question, small to medium sized businesses absolutely will use our product and they love it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's great. So you're talking like Waverly, you're talking St. B, back to territory and scope, and then maybe we'll dial this back into how do people find you? What does that really look like for you and stuff? But like the Waverly part, St. B, and do you also go like downtown Winnipeg?
Yeah, we're downtown core. Okay. Actually, what we just expanded in the Inkster, so the Inkster industrial area. We just expanded near the airport. We just expanded down McGilvery, so that whole South Landing area, they're going to get a brand new fiber connection in there.
Wow, that's awesome.
Really,
are you guys going to do? Yeah, I know you're more like business focused, but is there? I don't know what you can share, so don't spill anything that's not supposed to be. But are you guys going to get into like residential? Is that in the works for the everyday provider?
Yes, actually. So not necessarily in Winnipeg right now, but in Sask right now we do have a residential division. So they're called Redbird. So they are. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know a ton of information on that. That's not my department, but I know they do a great job over there. And I know they're just focusing on smaller towns in Saskatoon right now, bringing them fiber to the home. So that's like a commercial grade connection to your house, which is insane. Like that's it'd be nice to be one of the first in Winnipeg, like to truly connect everybody and do that. But yeah, we are starting this out in Sask, and so far it's been going great in Sask. The people have loved us out in Saskatoon, and that's where we're primarily located, right? Like that we're primarily located in Saskatoon. So yeah, actually we have a physical office out there and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Neat. Huh. What are you guys doing to get the word out about Flex Networks? What are you guys doing for marketing, sales? Like, what do you do? You're knocking on doors. You're calling people yourself. You're out golfing with some folks today.
I'm out golfing with some folks today. Yeah, you're bang on with it, man. We grind here. We grind. We're knocking doors. We're calling people. We do have a great marketing team located in Sask as well. So I don't know if you saw, but there's on Disraeli. We had a few billboards going there. We're starting to take more of that approach. A little bit more on social media. We've become a little bit more active. So
Awesome.
that's really what we've been really working out for. But another thing that's really been working out is just going in-person events. Like just getting your name out, and, showing the face,
Cool.
right? Because we're local guys, we're local Winnipeg guys, and that's how it should be, right? In Winnipeg, we're a very local city where everybody supports local. And I mean, I'm not saying we're a small company by any means. We're a massive company in terms of capex and everything. But it's just they see the local face and they want to work with you just for that reason, right?
Awesome. What kind of events like are you guys attending? Are you guys going to trade shows, or is this more
Yeah.
golf tournaments? I know that's a good way to like network sometimes too. So, what's the approach there for your team? And I love that it seems a little bit more, making some assumptions here, but more like guerrilla style marketing, which is right up my alley. I love talking about strategy for getting in front of people and being creative on how you do it within a budget. So
Yeah, you're bang on with that, buddy. Yeah, so trade shows we've done as many trade shows as we could get involved in. I love
cool.
that. Like, I mean, the most recent one I went to was Red River College Directions. I had a blast at that. I think that was great.
Cool.
Just seeing students where I was and then where they're going to be. I just think it's awesome. They're taking a lot more of a look into what's it called? A little bit more golf tournaments this year. Yes, that's going to be a thing.
Cool.
And just galas, like good causes. Nothing to get in front of. That's a good cause. My colleague and I, Brett, we love doing that type of stuff. Money for a good cause. How can we support? That is right up our alley. So anything like that, we want to get involved in.
Awesome. That's do you guys have anything on the calendar yet? Like any runs, or I know that there's like I was just chatting with one of my companies at the Cancer Care Manitoba about doing some stuff this year. Anything that's on the radar that you want to share with the listener that they can maybe
Yeah,
find
sure.
you out that way?
We're gonna be at the Pritchard Memorial Golf Tournaments, the 26th annual. Actually, Roxanne from BNI, she got me
Oh
hooked
yeah,
up in that, so I was really
awesome.
grateful for that. That sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah,
Funds are going towards um, Cancer Care Manitoba, I believe, actually. So really
oh
excited
cool.
for that.
Well
I'm
then,
really
yeah,
excited. We're sponsoring a hole, and yeah, no, I'm pumped for that. Like I said, just getting out there, just seeing everybody's faces, and playing a little bit of golf. It sounds like such a good day.
yeah, it does. That's that's
Sounds like
awesome.
the best day, eh? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
So
does.
there's that, and then like honestly, like with it being nice weather, we're trying to do a little bit more, outdoor events like while we can, right? Because once Winnipeg hits their once Winnipeg gets going in their winter and whatnot, then it's back to being inside, right? And
Yeah. And do you find, I guess,
enjoy
like
while you
most of
can.
your installs got to be, you got to be seasonal on installs, right? Like you can't be doing this stuff in the winter, or can you?
You know what? That's a good question, actually. You know what? We can do it in the winter.
Okay.
They try to stay away from it, and like I get it. I wouldn't want to be out in -40 installing fiber either. Like that's cold, man. I don't want to do that. But
Yeah.
so we try to stick within summertime. It does reduce costs a little bit. It is a little bit more expensive to build in the wintertime just because obviously
Yeah.
the ground isn't thawed.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's cold, man. It is cold here. So
Stuff breaks when it's -40, and you're throwing a
oh,
network
buddy,
line in. So
stuff breaks when it's -40. Is that is yes, yes.
well, you guys are gonna be out and about and doing events this summer. You're doing trade shows, so if people are looking around and or want more information, I guess, on that side of thing. Is there any other things that are new that would be prudent to share besides kind of like the summer tour
Actually, yeah.
there of
You know
trade
what?
shows? Or
We just launched a brand new website, brand new logo actually. So check out our website, flexnetworks.ca, and
excellent.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
You could see exactly where our fiber footprint is. So if you've ever wondered if you can get fiber where you are, it's a super easy tool. You plug in your address and it shows you yes, we're here, or no, like we need an estimate type thing. So there's that, and it shows everything we got going on. We're trying to stay super active on it, and like I said, it's a very clean, crisp new website, and really excited. I said our marketing team spent a lot of hard hours on it, and I think it turned out really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just checking it out now. I remember checking it out before.
Yeah,
And you guys
we
do
were
have
talking about
the Redbird thing on here. Yeah, and I'm not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, she's
Um,
crisp. I think it's crisp.
in terms of yeah, you got home, you got business, multi-residential. So I'm assuming that's for kind of like more apartment buildings, maybe condos.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Bang on, man. Bang on. So some
Yeah.
condos actually in Winnipeg right now have flat. I don't know who exactly. It's not my division, but there is companies using us right now. It's like I said, it's just they throw it in the rent. It makes it more convenient. They don't have to worry about it when they move in or move out. Like it's convenience, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing where that piece with the I mean, it's just like personally here, but I mean, when we do get into an office with some of the stuff I'm working on, we'll have to be chatting about
1,000%, buddy.
that for me personally. But if folks are, I know we just dropped the website here. If folks are looking to get a hold of you, I don't know what you want to include in here. I can include whatever you want in the bio before, so maybe we want to just like leave it as online, so people aren't maybe calling you directly and stuff. So let's do that. We'll talk afterwards what we want to include, but flexnetworks.ca, and then whatever we want to put in the bottom of this when we do post it here, I'll make sure to share that with listeners. So yeah, anything else that we want to know? Otherwise, I think we went through the gist of it here, Kris, and then we're not interrupting too much of the golf game here. But I love that this is an amazing way to be doing the podcast on today. I can't wait.
Next time I'll play hockey or something for you.
Yeah, you'll be like that guy with the green screen that was very entertaining during COVID. Remember that guy who was like in a business group meeting and stuff? Yeah, I think that's Frankie. What the guy's name was. Yeah, you're like the new version. You're like Winnipeg Frankie now. So yeah, that's okay. So we have the website there. I'll include anything else that you would like to have in there, and I think that's this was an awesome we'll call it short sweet episode outdoors with Kris Hrom today with Flex Networks, and just want to say thanks to Kris for making time in the day to hop on with us and dive into what he's doing. I always find it very interesting. Yeah, let's
it's been a minute, buddy.
Yeah, and how many holes are you playing today?
I'm hoping to get 18. I'm going to the ice game tonight though, so guess we'll see. Okay. Guess we'll see. You know, I will see how fast the group in front of us is, and no course record today though.
Yeah,
that's today.
Everyone's eager to get out and get going. So that's great. Thank you again, Kris, for hopping on here, and we will chat more with you soon.
Sounds good, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yes.